This video is an overview of Plasma Mobile on the OnePlus 6T for postmarketOS version 25.06. This is a fresh install, so we'll go through the setup process, bugs and all, and comment on some of the features. So from the lock screen, we can access the quick settings. The default password is 147147. Which brings us to the greeter on a first install. The first thing we can do is set up the dark theme if we like, or change the scaling. Adding the time and date can be important for system updates. Next, we are asked to connect to the Wi-Fi. As with all the previous versions, Wi-Fi is functioning normally and connects well. Here we can also set up mobile data. For me, I had to do this step manually. Sometimes it can detect, but mine didn't work. Here I'm adding my APN for my provider. However, I noticed later that I put in the incorrect APN, which is why I'm having difficulty here. But I'm showing this just so we can see how to fix things later. As you can see, there's a bit of a bug in displaying this input setting. Next, system navigation offers the ability to use gestures only, but we'll go into this a little bit later. Now we can see the home screen. Swiping down from the top will get us the quick settings, and here I want to make note of the brightness setting at 100% and the battery life. Remember to watch that as we go along. I'll try and comment as well. Long pressing on the home screen will allow you to add widgets and other icons that are your favorites. By default, there's nothing there, which is a little bit strange, but it's fully customizable, so there's no problem. Swiping down from the home screen will give you the search bar. Here you can search for items in your phone, or you can also do simple mathematics. If we swipe up, we also get a search bar for the apps. This works only for searching app names. Long pressing on an icon will allow you to drag it to the home screen or down to the favorites launcher. Long pressing again gives you the remove dialog. So let's go through some of the quick settings and make a few comments before we move on. Wi-Fi and mobile data can be connected, as well as Bluetooth. Here I will pair some Bluetooth earbuds. It may depend on the Bluetooth device that you want to connect, but so far these earbuds have connected well with Plasma Mobile consistently. The flashlight is functional and can be switched on and off from the quick settings, whether the device is locked or unlocked. Auto rotate is a normal feature, but in recent updates of Plasma Mobile, if you turn it off, it will display a small icon in the corner allowing you to manually rotate the screen. Sound settings are also accessible from the quick menu. And here it shows up, but doesn't seem to go away. I'm not sure if this is a bug or user error. I can't seem to make it go away, but something that needs to be improved at least here in this OS. But I'll continue going. Here the screen recorder works, and later we will see the video once I'm able to get back to the home screen. In the notifications, we can see that the video was recorded, and we'll check it out later. On Plasma Mobile, the Nightlight works. This is a nice feature to help your eyes. Like the screen recorder, screenshots are also working from the quick settings. There is a power menu in the quick settings, but in this default 25.06 setup, it doesn't seem to respond. So I've had to power down or reboot from the terminal. Now we're back to the home screen. It seems that we're able to access things again. So we'll go through a few of the apps. Here I'm going to go through some of the settings. I've turned off haptic feedback on the keyboard. And we'll talk about more of the keyboard settings later in terms of language input. Here I have attached my Bluetooth headphones again, and instantly the profile shows up. And testing the sound in the earbuds, it does work. I'll quickly go through some of the other settings, commenting only on the unique features that I've noticed, but there are quite a few settings we can explore here. The cellular network is where we will fix the APN settings later. Again, I had to add this manually, and the automatic APN did not work for me. But we will look at that and show that the data connection is indeed working later. Right here, it's telling me it's not. indicating that I have done something incorrect. This is a nice feature to know that it's working or not working, and we can check our settings. This video I don't test the hotspot, but it has worked in the past, so I'm going to hope that it is continuing to work. As you can see, there's quite a few controls to customize this to your needs. Now in the shell setting, we can turn on the gesture mode. This makes that bottom menu disappear, and now with gestures we can manipulate the windows. So a quick swipe up from the bottom will open the running applications. Another quick swipe will minimize, and the long swipe will push the window into the queue, which you can navigate with left and right. You can check out the full notes for these updates in Plasma Mobile in the link I've put below. The energy setting shows our battery life. As I mentioned before, please take note of how much it has drained. In another video, I'll compare the battery life of different OSs so that we have a benchmark. Here we can see the versions of the OS and Plasma Mobile. In the Edge versions, there is an update to the Plasma environment. But on 25.06, we are running Plasma 6.3. The default browser is a lightweight browser called Angelfish. It also has ad blocking pre-installed, and we can update it here. Just a quick thing on the volume buttons. The hardware buttons do control the volume, and that is working functionally. There again, we saw that sound dialog pop up, but I was able to make it go away. So browsing with Wi-Fi is quite functional, and we can test the sound as well if we watch a video. Here again, our video works with Wi-Fi and the volume controls work in the browser. So let's continue with some of the default applications and functions. In this update, the camera does function. By default, it wants to use the front camera, so I'm turning it around, and you can see it does work. However, it's kind of zoomed in, and there's no way to zoom in and out, at least not the normal ways that I've tried, but it does function. And the video recording function seems to work as well. If we flip the camera around, you can see a bit of an issue with the screen color, but it's great progress for this camera. The clock app has received some aesthetic updates, and it should function as expected. Discover is like the App Store for Plasma Mobile. Here you can see notification stacking. That's a new thing in Plasma 6.3. And this is where you can install new applications or update the system applications and the things that are installed. Dolphin is the file manager, and we can simply go through and navigate to our files. Here is that screenshot that we took earlier. And if we navigate back to the videos, we can also see the screen recording that we took earlier. Though the playback of it doesn't seem to be working. So our photo viewer is how we viewed the screenshot, and that works. Call functions I will talk about later in the video. There's a recorder that comes by default, and if I record my voice, it does indeed work. So the microphones are registering. Spacebar is the SMS or text app. So I'm going to test out sending an SMS. I don't have a contact at the moment, but I can add one in my Phonebook. Tapping on the contact will give you access to either call or SMS. Here I'm going to send a message, and it does go through. It appears here on this other device. The terminal, famous on any Linux system, is for running commands and navigating through the file system. A few features in the app include tabs and aesthetic settings. We can also use this to reboot the phone, power off, or install apps. I've noticed, however, that certain apps will appear on the home screen after installed through the terminal, while some of them do not. So I think it depends on which application you are installing. The weather app also looks aesthetically pleasing with a few features, and works accordingly. As you can see, that quick settings menu may not be quite sensitive enough, but it is there if you pull down from the top. Here I'm trying to reboot the phone. So here I can use the terminal to reboot. Now with our system rebooted, we can continue with the demonstration and see what's happening. So even with a reboot, that one app I installed through the terminal didn't seem to show up, so it might depend on the application. As we can see, it is installed, but there's something wrong with that one application that I'm trying to demo here. I have also fixed the data connection. Depending on your service, you might have to input a code through the dialer as well, which I had to do in order to activate it. But now we can see I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi, and we are indeed able to browse through Angelfish Browser using the data connection. Connecting back to the Wi-Fi, it connects quite nicely. To add languages is quite simple through the settings and keyboard settings. Here I'm going to add 2 different languages and demonstrate how that works. Pressing this key allows you to switch through the languages. Here we can see that both of these extra languages have been set up for proper use. It's easy to switch between the languages, and it's nice and functional. Now we will talk about the dialer and making calls. Here I'm making an outgoing call. In-call volume does work, and I am able to hear on Plasma Mobile, but the other phone cannot hear me talking through Plasma Mobile. So this is still an issue, and the functionality of calling is not ready for daily use. If we receive an incoming call, the result is the same. Lastly, I'll talk about VoLTE, which some people have been asking about. I could not find any settings to indicate whether it was switched on or not, but by default, the VoLTE components are installed. If we go through the wiki, it does say that VoLTE is working, but is still quite buggy. Unfortunately, I don't live in an area where I have to use VoLTE, so I'm not sure if I can test this. Here we're installing an application, again from the App Store, and it will show up in the Home app drawer when it's done. Also, installing certain apps from the console or terminal will allow them to install properly and show up in the app drawer as well. In my GNOME 48 video, I improperly commented that they are not showing up when installed from the console, but that turns out that I was installing the wrong app. VLC is not the right choice for these demos, but here we can see that if I install the game Bovo, it does in fact show up in the app drawer. On further tests with the GNOME 48 system, it also did show up. So this was an overview and update for Plasma Mobile on postmarketOS version 25.06. If you have any further questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed this video or learned something, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.